Everyone, thank you. Welcome to this special edition of the Create, Engage, Succeed show. I am so excited to bring our guest to you today. Joining me is
Amadeus. Oh, sorry. Usually you did the introduction strange.
it's Friday. Hey, we're live. So this is Amadeus. And I would like to introduce our special guest, Elizabeth, who is the founder of
Inspiration in the Everyday.
Thank you. I knew there was. All right. For those of you that have known me for a while and have watched my live videos, I am really having a Monday on a Friday afternoon. Let me just tell you. So to get the show off on the right note, I got back from the accountant. I forgot to put the car in park, took my foot off the gas, and almost rolled through the garage door. So all of a sudden, I'm just like, why is the car still? Oh no, boom, slam on the brakes. So that's how the day has been going for me. So I apologize in advance for any inability to speak. There's a good chance that Amadeus will be leading this interview because my words are not coming out in a right order. But for those of you that are brand new to the show, we like to bring on guests that are doing really cool things in the world. So whether they're creating a new product or service, writing a book, where they've got a wonderful success story to share, or if they're just looking for a way to engage a broader audience, hence the title, Create, Engage, Succeed. Elizabeth and I met in a workshop about 6 months ago. We are members of Bobby Klink's Badass Online Marketing Community, and we met and we just had a little chit chat. And then she reached out to me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, do you have time to talk? I know Ken's got something going on with science, but I also want to tell you about my new program that I've created. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, we got to bring you on the show. And where were you when I was homeschooling my kids? So without further ado, Elizabeth, please let our audience know exactly who you are instead of my round the world introduction. Get the geography references? Okay. And we will get the show started.
Well, Mary, I don't know. I don't think it's just you today. It felt like a weird day here. I've already jumped on Amadeus. Amadeus, I can't even say your name. I'm sorry.
You were Australian for a second.
Man. I'll say my name. I could say that correctly. Holy cow. I'm Elizabeth Tatham. I am a homeschooling mama of 5 who is just passionate about helping other homeschooling mamas. And not only teaching and homeschooling and sitting down and using books and worksheets and pencils and pens and paper, which is awesome and fabulous, and you got to use it. But at the same time, learning should be fun. It should be interactive. You should be up and moving and playing games and doing crafts. And one of the things that I absolutely love learning about is learning about different countries, learning about different people and cultures and the different animals that live in these different countries and all over the place, all the different, land formations and stuff that you can check out. But I couldn't find a way to do it in a fun way. And so I figured out a way to do it in a fun way, and Adventures Around the World was born. And I started doing it with my own kids. And then we went, you know what, this is too much fun. We got to share it. And
love it.
There you have it. We have Adventures Around the World.
That is awesome. Well, if you notice, we are trying to do our best to support Adventures Around the World with our virtual backgrounds. And I'm wearing my Alaska Cruise t-shirt from when I went to Alaska. And really, I love what you said about learning being fun. Whether you're a homeschool family or a traditional school family, especially during the summertime, a lot of children lose what they learned during the school year because it's just like, well, we need some downtime, we need some fun. It's, we're so used to textbooks and curriculum. And when you were telling me about your program, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's like speaking to who we are as a family and as a business ourselves, because we're all about making learning fun. So first of all, I want to get Amadeus's perspective. If you had had an opportunity to have a program like this when you were homeschooling, what would you have thought?
I probably would have jumped at it because everything at the time was just, if it was an online class or anything else, it was just, here's a textbook and here's a bunch of choice, fill in multiple choice questions. And that was pretty much the extent of homeschooling extra activities.
Yeah. And there's a lot of opportunities to make it more fun. So Elizabeth, you said you homeschool 5 children.
I do.
Where did you come up with this idea to do this deep dive into different cultures? And maybe tell us a little bit about how your children tested it for you to make sure that this was going to be something that families could really benefit from.
Well, the idea kind of came from, I've always loved learning. I've always loved, I had this atlas when I was growing up, right? And I don't know if you've read Dr. Dolittle, Voyages of Dr. Dolittle by Hugh Lofting.
Yes.
Love that. We love those books. And I've always been intrigued by that scene where they want to go on a voyage, but they can't figure out where they're going to go. So they get this massive atlas down off the shelf. They put it on the table with the binding on the table and hold it closed. And then they've got a pencil in their hand. They close their eyes tight. They take their hands away, let the atlas fall open to whatever page, put down the tip of the pencil, and then they open their eyes, and wherever their pencil lands, that's where they're going. I've always loved that, but I wasn't quite that adventurous. I did it a few times, never got the chance to actually go where my pencil landed.
Okay.
Although I didn't land on Spider Monkey Islands like Dr. Dolittle did.
Well, of course.
But at the same time, I've always been intrigued by this idea of traveling, of learning about different places and checking out all the different features and everything from, the monuments and the castles and the Golden Gate Bridge, as is behind you at the moment. The Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, all these different places, to places like Iguazu Falls down in Argentina and Brazil, and Uluru over in Australia, and just all the land formations too. And I'm like, how do I take that fun? How do I take that like love of all these different places and people and things and really be able to communicate that to my kids? Because let's face it, you can love something, but trying to communicate it to somebody else and instilling that same desire and passion and, want to learn about it in somebody else is not the easiest thing in the world anytime.
Definitely not. And especially with children.
Yes. They definitely have their own ideas.
They do.
So I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what? My kids love to do crafts. They love to play games. They love to, they love fun, weird, random facts. They love learning about animals. Elephants are very big, no pun intended, in our house. But it was one of those, how do I take all that and just really pull it all together? And that was really the big idea behind it of, okay, well, let's take a look at a country, but let's not just look at, okay, there's this number of 962,303 square kilometers. Yippee. What does that mean? How big actually is that? So for Adventures Around the World, we actually create what we call our land area leaderboard. And all the materials are in it to be able to create it within the packet for Adventures Around the World. But it's really taken the countries and you basically make a board, and the biggest ones are on the top and the smallest ones are on the bottom. So when you look at it, you actually go, oh my word, Papua New Guinea is bigger than Switzerland. Who knew?
Wow, that's very cool.
Awesome.
So it's really taking those facts that can be, they're necessary facts, like how big a country is, but we're coming at it from a fun perspective, and we're doing some hands-on stuff. Like you got to cut out a rectangle so you can actually create your land area leaderboard and things like this. So it's really just blending all those ideas together.
That's very cool. Well, and it looks like you're introducing some gamification concepts, which is a big word right now in education and business, because you've got your leaderboard. Mm-hmm. You've also got fun and games. Mm-hmm. And I could also see it for older children. And that's a question that we frequently get asked, because I homeschool too, and they're 8 years apart. And so oftentimes and with 5 children, I would guess that there's a little bit of an age range between yours as well. So how do you take advantage of the curriculum for the older child and the youngest child, or from the youngest child and the eldest child? It's like, how do you make that fit across the family? But I could see with just what you were saying here, with the older children, it could be used to teach graphing and statistics. And for the younger children, it's cut out the rectangle and put it on the leaderboard. Was that intentional, or was that something that just sort of was like, oh, that's an afterthought? I didn't really realize that this could be used across multiple ages.
It was intentional to make it spread over a wide range. I mean, right now my kids range from preschool up through middle school.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are days I feel like I'm jumping levels just in having conversations with them, let alone in trying to teach them and homeschool them. Because I've got everything from, okay, count how many counting bears are sitting on the table to, okay, let's start multiplying and dividing fractions from a math perspective. But so I wanted to make sure that all of them could be included. And there's some things in there that, the little ones, they're just not going to grasp it quite yet. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they can still listen. They can enjoy. There's things to cut out. There's, with the crafts, on multiple crafts, we've got different levels. Like if you got little ones, you could do it this way. If you've got older ones, you could do it here. You could do more involved. Things like that. I've also built in a lot of extra books that you can start reading about each country.
Awesome.
There's opportunities to give your child a report. I know that word's so scary. Like, no. But the reality is, one of my daughters just did a report about lions.
Okay.
And we were talking, and just some random facts came up in conversation about lions, and all of a sudden she looks at me, she's like, oh, Mom, that's in my report. It was like that total click. It was awesome to watch.
Oh, yes.
Happen. So
no, I love it. And like I said, reports don't have to be bad and scary. And how you do a report, I would think, would be up to the family to decide what makes a good report, because maybe you want to teach your child how to use PowerPoint. Or maybe you want an oral report because it's a younger student, or in the case of Amadeus, he's dysgraphic. So physically writing was a challenge to him, but put him in front of a keyboard, he could knock out something like you wouldn't believe. And so, we've learned how to do combinations, like give me the report verbally, and he could tell the story and give me all the information. Whereas my daughter was more like, I want to write it. I want to draw it. I want to color it. It's like, okay. Let me ask a little bit about the structure of this program, because it's summer adventure. So does it have to be done in the summer? Is there a component where the families would get to interact with you? What makes it special? And could I continue potentially doing this all year long?
Well, Adventures Around the World itself is something that's available constantly. Each country is its own packet. You get between 20 and 30 pages of information for each and every country.
Wow.
And there's more countries coming out constantly, because obviously it's one of those where the ball is rolling, but obviously there are more countries to learn about. So I gotta learn about them.
I love it. I love it.
But at the same time, we have a special trip going on right now that is our Adventures Around the World Summer Trip 2021, which obviously is happening in the, wait for it, summer of 2021.
Wow.
I know. Amazing. And the summer trip actually has a little bit more involved with it, which is actually really cool, because I wanted to introduce people to Adventures Around the World, while at the same time making it really easy for parents to be like, okay, what do I do? Because sometimes, especially in the summer, we need a break. Like we've been going through all the books, we've been going through all the curriculum. I mean, I know we're just, wrapping our school year up, and it's like, okay, I need a break. Like, give me like at least a week before I start thinking about all this stuff again. And so with the summer trip, you actually start out with a introductory video of, me.
Right.
And I get up there and I start telling you about the country. So I really have the opportunity to introduce the country to you and to tell you all about these different, and it's not just like, I'm not going to stand up here and be like, this is the fact. And, I don't use the pointer, and, it's not like there's not a big map. There's butterflies on the wall behind me. I mean, like,
right.
It's a fun time. And one of the videos in the series I'm so excited about, where actually Papua New Guinea is one of the countries within the 7-week series.
Nice.
And friends of mine lived in Papua New Guinea for years, and they let me borrow some of their things that they brought back. So I had this massive conch shell that I get to show you on camera.
Oh, cool.
From Papua New Guinea and just all these different things. It's so incredible how it's turning out. You do get the full 20 to 30 page packet with it. But you also get a travel guidebook because, well, we want to make it as simple as possible. So it literally will walk you through exactly all of the different things that you can do within that country, just with the concept of you don't want to get lost while you're wandering around a foreign country. So we're going to give you a guidebook.
Oh, how cool.
That's great.
Yeah. And then at the end, there's another video that is a family trivia game. And honestly, I cannot wait to play that. My kids and I are going through the first country right now together. And I can't wait to be able to play it with them. For the record, I won't answer the questions since, I kind of wrote the questions. Might be fair. But it's set up so that it is a trivia game. So you watch it on your TV screen. You hear the question, you've got multiple choice answers, and then there's a pause so everybody can declare their answer. And then you find out the answer.
Fun.
Oh, how fun.
Game, you find out who remembered the most and who wins the game as you're going through it. But of course, all the answers can be found in the introductory video and in that packet.
That is really cool. So the next question, and if this is giving away too much, please don't answer it. But what countries will you visit during your 7-week summer adventure?
Well, you're going to start out with a safari in Botswana.
Oh, how cool.
Yes. And then, as I mentioned, you're going to head to Papua New Guinea. From there, you're headed to Argentina, followed by Belgium, then back across the world over to Thailand. Then you're headed over to Peru, and finally it concludes in Morocco.
Wow.
So you are literally all over the globe.
It's an extensive trip.
It is.
Yes. But I mean, I'm just like, I want to do this. Amadeus, we should do this.
And the best part of all is you don't have to pack a bag. You don't have to pack a passport. You don't have to worry about airline security.
Yeah.
All from your living room. Well, unless you run out of glue sticks, then you might have to run to the craft store. But
right. But I mean, for the most part, no, I mean, that is great. And I like the fact that you've picked countries that for most of us, at least here in the States, we may have heard of, but outside of Belgium and Argentina, I know virtually nothing about the other countries that you mentioned. So it's just like, wow. I mean, it's not like what so often happens is we pick like, here's the European countries that everyone's familiar with, or here are these countries that we've heard about in the news and, we have some familiarity with it, which I find really exciting because if I'm going to go on a summer vacation, I want to go somewhere exciting and new and exotic and different. So it's like, cool. I don't have to deal with bugs and airports and planes and whatever. I can learn from my house. So that is so cool. So if somebody wanted to sign up for the summer adventure, first of all, is there a deadline?
There is a deadline. The deadline is July 20th.
Okay.
And the reason we put that on there is because it is a summer adventure for summer 2021. So we wanted to make sure that if you started July 20, you could still finish in the summer of 2021. So,
I love it. And
so
then
July 20 is the deadline.
Okay. So if somebody wants to enroll, and I know I've got the information, but it's always nice to hear it too. If somebody wanted to register for the summer adventure, where would they go?
They can head to inspirationintheeveryday.com/summer trip.
Oh, that's easy.
Yep. Nice and easy.
And again, speaking as a former homeschool parent, curriculum can get very expensive. People have budgets to worry about. Sounds like this would be like a $400 or $500 program.
Well, I have a fabulous surprise for you.
Okay.
It's only $77.
That's insane.
It is $77 for 7 countries, 7 weeks, and it's not per person, it's per family.
Wow. I mean, you can't take a family to McDonald's for $77.
I think you can take them to McDonald's, but probably not the movies.
Well, it depends. If you've got a family of 7 like Elizabeth does, it would
That's true.
probably be more than $77 if everybody gets, even if everyone eats on the value menu.
I just think of we have only 2 people, so we could. I feel like we'd have to eat a lot of McDonald's for $77.
Right. But when you think about families that are maybe multiple children and stuff,
I forget that there's other family sizes.
Yeah, so we're the regular size and the other families are the super size, okay? No, I mean, just listening to what you're saying, and again, having been a homeschool parent and spent money on programs and activities and crafts. And I mean, I even look at just some of the things that we do for this annual scavenger hunt that we participate in every year. One item on the scavenger hunt might be $70 by the time we get the glue sticks and the cotton balls and the everything we need to know. And I think that's amazing. Plus to get the videos from you, that in and of itself is to me worth a whole lot of money. So I think $77 for the 7-week summer adventure is amazing.
It can be a tongue twister too.
Yeah, 77 for summer. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to say that anymore. But no, I mean, because as people are looking at, as a course creator also, I know that that's always a hard point. Like, what do I price this at? Where do I get that line between giving good value and growing my audience and getting people that are hooked on my stuff? And I think this is a great way for people to not only experience your wit and wisdom, but also your expertise and to have something fun to do with their families.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just sitting here going, yeah, where's that buy button? I mean, I'm ready. And I don't even have children that are, in that target audience.
I was going to say, you definitely still have children.
Yes, I still have children, but they're both adults. I mean,
well, you can still enjoy this. I mean, my husband and I are enjoying going through it with our kids, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know, even being the one who's creating this and writing all this and stuff, watching my kids go through it again, it's like I get to relive it through them again.
That's awesome.
It's just amazing.
Well, I think, the other part is, again, thinking about families, whether you're homeschool or regular school, traditional school, whatever you want to call it, this is not a one and done. So you could watch the videos, go on the summer adventure, but I would guess because you have the packets and the workbooks and the travel guide, you could still come back and revisit it later.
Absolutely. Yeah, the access to the videos, as far as I know, it's still going to be there.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking even the activities.
Gremlins get to it. I mean,
well, there've been a few internet gremlins of late, but I mean, even have the workbook, you could come back and revisit it at home and go, okay, we did this last year. Let's do it again over the winter break and maybe do some of our own research and go, okay, what are their holiday traditions or I think that's really cool. So our timekeeper's telling me that we're almost out of time, which this has been the fastest 30-minute interview that I have done in a long time. And I have just had so much fun. So I will be sure to put in the show notes the direct links to everything that you've shared today. We're also going to be posting this on YouTube for those of you that are watching and want to maybe see it in a different framework or watch it on your television more easily. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? But before we go, Elizabeth, any last words of wisdom or motivation or how do families get through the summer from you?
Oh goodness.
Not to throw you under the bus, right?
Oh yeah. Not to throw me on the spot.
Well, yeah, not at all.
As far as getting through the summer, one of the things that I was actually just working on some stuff for the summer and just really looking at, how do you slow down and enjoy it? So often, especially as homeschooling moms, and I know I'm so guilty of this, of, okay, 1 year's done. Okay, wrap it up. Get ready for the next one. Let's go. It's a constant,
right.
It feels like a constant treadmill. And especially when you've got multiple kids, it's like, I've got 5 grades to get ready to go and holy cow. And there's so many worksheets and yes. Sometimes you just get into that go mentality that you forget those moments of, what, stop and go get some ice cream, grab some popsicles out of the freezer and pretend like you're 10 years old again and go out on the deck and have a popsicle with your kids. And just to actually take that time and just rest and just enjoy. And I know for my personality, that's very hard to not plan anything. But at the same time, sometimes I have to plan to not plan, as weird as that sounds.
No, that is such good advice.
But yet at the same time, that's, sometimes that's what you need to do so that you can let those spontaneous creative moments happen and just enjoy them along the way.
That is great advice. I think for all of us, whether we were homeschooling parents, we have children in regular school, or just in general, we need to stop every so often and go, oh, let's just live in the moment and enjoy what we're experiencing instead of, here's my agenda, got to get it done, got to get it done, got to get it done. So, Elizabeth, it has been such a delight to have you as a guest today. I am so looking forward to checking out the summer adventure myself.
You're more than welcome to join us.
All right. So
there's no age limits, none whatsoever.
Awesome. So the last question, just because we're talking about this, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot, are those videos live or recorded? So it's like if I sign up today and I want to get started, I would just get a link, right? And I would watch the video, or is this a live session that I have to attend?
The videos are recorded.
Okay.
We do also have a Facebook group, which will have more of the live interaction with posts and such, of course. So if you do run into any, you're looking at it going, I don't understand these craft instructions. Hopefully that won't be the case. But if you do, we've got the Facebook group. I'm in there quite often just to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing, not running into any snags or anything like that. But yeah, if you were to sign up today, within hours, you would get an email with the links to get you going on your safari to Botswana.
Awesome. Yeah. And it just, again, thinking about families, and I know Amadeus is going, Mom, we're up at time, but knowing that you could do the video at any time takes some of that pressure off again as a family trying to do this, because maybe you want the whole family involved and people are at work during the daytime when the broadcast is, but knowing that we could gather around the TV in the evening and watch the video together takes that pressure off, and it puts that fun back into it too. Because now I don't have a pressure-based deadline like, oh, I got to be there Monday night at 7 p.m.
True. And you can watch it multiple times if you want.
I love it. Even better. Well, thank you again for joining us today. This is Mary and
Amadeus
and
Elizabeth
signing off from this week's special episode of the Create, Engage, Succeed show. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you again.